I'm now happy to welcome Pernilla Sandwall, CEO at WntResearch. Welcome, Pernilla.
Thank you very much. I would like to present for you WntResearch. We have a substance that is preventing the metastatic process. And this is our disclaimer. So introduction is that we are a listed company on Spotlight, and we're focusing on Foxy-5, our substance that is preventing cancer to set metastasis. We are initially looking into colon cancer, and the patients are in phase or stage 2 or 3 of their disease. We are currently running a phase 2 study. The name of the study is NeoFox. It's done in 25 hospitals approximately in Spain and Hungary. And as of to date, we have more than 112 patients recruited. And we have an interim analysis planned for later this year, where we'll have data from 120 evaluable patients. And in parallel with the study, we are also looking to scale up the manufacturing process of the product. And we are also doing a lot to understand what other potential Foxy-5 could have, and in other clinical therapeutic areas of the cancers. So with this, it's important to also look at the patent strategy to strengthen our protection for the future product. So this is a short summary, and I will with this proceed. Here we are. So colon cancer, there is a real unmet medical need, and this shows you that there are 18 million people that get cancer every year, and of those actually 10 million die. The incidence, which is called for colon cancer, is 1.1 million, and colon cancer is the 4th most common cancer form. If you get the cancer, the 5-year survival is actually 71%, but if the cancer sets metastasis, it is reduced to 14%. So there is a need for drugs preventing metastasis. And Foxy-5 has a huge opportunity here. So out of those 1.1 million patients, we focus with our study on the segment stage 2 to 3, and there it's almost 300,000 patients each year. And if you look then into market access and the pricing, there is a potential for over $500 million per year in sales. So what are we looking at? So WNT5 is a protein, and the major effect of this WNT5 protein in the body is that it actually can affect the movement of tumor cells and the adhesion to the neighboring cells, to put it. And maybe the easiest way is shown in this slide. So if you have a lot of this protein, the WNT5A, there are just a few of those tumor cells that actually could move, if you put it in that way, and set metastasis. But if you have little of the WNT5, there is much easier for those tumor cells to actually move away and spread the tumor in the body. So WNT5A, this protein, you can't give that as a drug. It's impossible. It doesn't work. This is a study showing that if you have a low expression of WNT5A, actually it correlates to the progression of the disease. So the overall survival is impacted a lot if you have the low expression compared to if you have higher. So with Foxy-5, our substance, we're intending to move and look at the overall survival in the long run. So Foxy-5, more in detail, it mimics the WNT5A, the functionality, and to reduce the metastatic burden to the patients, and also the stem cells. So we have done in vitro studies, so that is when you actually do what you say in a lab, looking at cells. And there we can see what we affects the protein and how those cells move or migrate and adhere to each other. What we have also seen in vivo, that is preclinical prior to you go into patients, is that you reduce we reduce the metastatic burden with Foxy-5. What we also see is that the number of stem cells, or when you look at this specific marker for the stem cells, that's reduced. And it's one can say that stem cells, they are like sleeping cells, and it's good as long as they are, but they could, when they wake up, they could cause the metastatic process. So this is a very important part of mechanism of action. So Foxy-5 has an excellent safety profile in what we have seen both preclinical and clinically. So you do tox studies in drug development, and that is to look for signals, any negative effects or what we can call side effects, we haven't seen any of those yet, and we have not. We have a correlation between the dose. So this is excellent, and when you look at the genetic effect, there are no negative signals as well. So it is a safe product so far, and you might know that that's not the case for many cancer drugs on the market. When it comes to the formulation or the drug product, so the substance Foxy-5 is a freeze-dried tablet that we solve in saline, and this solution can be given as an infusion. And we are manufacturing this according to good manufacturing practice, which you have to do in order to treat patients. So the study, the NeoFox study, the intention of, or the goal with the study is to demonstrate a proof of concept in colon cancer. So as seen here, we have patients entering the study, and they are in this stadium 2 or 3 of colon cancer. They are planned to have surgery, but after the surgery to have chemotherapy. And we treat prior to the surgery, and then we treat after the surgery. And you can see on the slide, it's ctDNA we are writing. So that's circular DNA from the tumor cells. So you measure that prior to the surgery and the treatment, and then you measure it at the after the surgery, and then as the study goes along. And this is indicating on actually the growth of metastasis, if you can see the ctDNA increasing after the surgery. We will have an interim analysis, and this is the study is controlled, I should have mentioned. So when we have 60 patients treated with Foxy-5 and 60 patients in the control group, and can evaluate the ctDNA from 120 patients, then we should have this interim analysis and understand better the design and the end goal of the study. We intend this, we plan this study, and we have announced that it should be at the second half this year. It's going to be towards the end of the year, but we are on plan as we have previously communicated. So this interim analysis is going to be important for us to understand how the NeoFox study should be finalized and completed. Coming into positioning of the drug. So at the bottom you see stage, and that is the colon cancer can be then stage 1 to 4. And all of those patients are getting surgery. And then you can have biomarkers or you can have no biomarkers. And those biomarkers, there are signals to show if you will respond to a treatment or not, if you put it easy. So if a patient is in stage 1, no chemotherapy. For the other stages is chemo. And if you're in stage 4, there are further treatments that are added, and they are more affecting other parts than the metastasis. There is a study ongoing in phase 3 actually looking at the stage 2 and 3, giving aspirin. Aspirin is acetylsalicylsyra or acid, and in Sweden we have magnesyl, for instance. And that could be an opportunity for some patients that have a specific genetic change in their disease. So there's a huge opportunity here for Foxy-5. I have mentioned stage 2 and 3 in the colon cancer, but that's the initial focus we have. So one can think that we should go even to milder patients or to more severe patients, and also to add this to other, giving combination with other therapies for colon cancer. But as illustrated in the bottom of this slide, this is the first tumor we're looking into. So in theory, this drug can be used for many other many other cancer forms. So we had recently preclinical data that we are very excited about. And that's for AML, which is a blood cancer, and a totally different kind of cancer than colon cancer. So there is a huge opportunity here. The patent strategy is really important. Now we have patent protection until 26, 28, depending on the countries you're looking in, and then you have a prolonged patent protection because we have a new product or a new compound. And you could add to the patent, you build a patent thicket, and you also look at 2 different compositions of Foxy-5, and we can look at process related patents as well as actual medical use patents. So you build a patent thicket, and that's the strategy, and that's important. And doing this, we can see patent protection until 2040, approximately. So our priorities are really to finalize the study, but first to have the interim analysis at the end of the year for those 120 patients with their ctDNA readout. And that will guide us to how to end the study, how big the study will be, and then when it can be ended or finalized. So we have also the new manufacturing method, that's scaling up and make it more cost effective for the manufacturing, and also then strengthening the IP, as I mentioned. In parallel to all this, we are looking at preclinical development of Foxy-5 to see how we can explore some effects or maybe some alternative ways of the administration of Foxy-5, and also to accelerate the strategy in other cancer forms, as previously mentioned, then, so including this AML, but also it could be other colon cancers. And then very important is to look at the business development and see what, focusing on our potential partners, and mapping those, as well as how the market look like, and also initiate interactions with key opinion leaders. That you will see that we do have some, but it's also now an opportunity when the pandemic is over to focus and meet much more frequent. And then we also need to ensure that we are aligned with the regulatory authorities. So there will be regulatory meetings coming up. And we are looking for a partner, so to continue the development when we have completed the NeoFox study. So to do all this, this is the team, and if you have followed the company, I'm the only new member of the team. And our board of directors is on this slide. We just had an AGM last week, so we have a new chairman of the board, Kristen Norstedt, but Gudrun Ansten will continue as a board member. And the other new board member is Professor Jonas Berg from the Karolinska Institute. So overall, I would say that we have a very experienced and knowledge, both team, company team, and the board of directors. And we have those some scientific advisors. Those are well-known names in the field, in particular for colon cancer. And my last slide is to show the shareholders we have. And this list is as of end of March this year. And some of you have been with the company for quite a long time, and we really appreciate this. And I'm happy to interact with some of you, understanding our needs in the future. And with this, if you want to get in contact with me, this is some details. With this, I thank you for listening.
Thank you so much for your presentation, Pernilla.
Thank you. Welcome.
Well, you talked about the NeoFox study. The pandemic put a little bit of a wrench in the study in the last couple of years. No. Would you say you're out of the woods now? It's back on track?
We were affected absolutely with the pandemic, and it was we have communicated this delay, unfortunately. But the pandemic is not over, so people are still sick, even though it's not as severe as we had in the beginning and we know how to treat. But this affects the personnel on the clinics, patients dare to come. So I should say we are affected, but as we have communicated, we are now at a stable recruitment, and you can do some better projections of how it's going. So we see the end. This is good, because it has been troublesome for such a small company to run a study in a pandemic.
Yeah, and for many other companies as well, of course.
Absolutely. We're not alone.
But that's great to hear. And I also wanted to ask you, since you're quite new at the company, you've been at the helm of the company about a month and a half.
No, a month.
What do you bring to the company specifically, and what's your overall vision for WntResearch?
I have now a good experience for being the COO in Index Pharmaceuticals, where we have taken this compound from earlier phase and from more academic project to a company. So this journey I have been with Index, and I foresee that this is going to happen now at Wnt as well. So it's the process thinking and the experience I have then with both regulatory interactions and also being in a small company. You are exposed to all kinds of the development. If you're in a large, big pharmaceutical company, you only are very focused. I was at Merck, and then I was really into clinical operations only, but now I've been exposed to what it really means to take a compound forward, and also with the governance of the company. Mm-hmm. And looking forward, I really think I joined the company because I saw the big potential, and Foxy-5 is really super interesting, and it is such a need.
Well, it'll be an exciting journey ahead for sure. And we thank you so much for joining us today, and we do wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.